Hey, I just finished ranting about Google Plus, but this is about something that's didn't get me angry or anything, but kind of had me puzzled and a little uncomfortable or something. Which is Kickstarter, which has been great for funding people's comic book projects, and I have a friend who's funded his book tour off of it because his book publisher gave him no money for a book tour. And I know of a lot of other novelists who's like I know one person who wrote a trilogy, and the first two books of the trilogy were published by a New York publisher, and then the New York publisher decided to not publish the rest of the trilogy. So she went on Kickstarter, raised enough money to pay an editor to properly edit the book and to publish it herself. So Kickstarter is great for all of that stuff. I haven't supported a lot of Kickstarters. I keep meaning to. I keep looking around, well, what do I want to support here or there? And I've just supported a few things, but I'd like to support a few more in the future. And the ones I am most interested in is where basically you're buying a book in advance, and maybe supporting it a little more than that, or paying a little higher price than you would normally. But you're going to get a graphic novel out of it in the end for paying maybe $20 or something. But now the big one in the comic book world is Fantagraphics, who is a major one of the big small publishers, with a big history in the comic book industry of the past 30 or 30 years probably. I think they started with publishing the comics journal, or a comic book journal, which was kind of the most intellectual of the comic book zines. I don't know if that's still published in a physical form or maybe just an electronic form. I'm not sure which. I used to read it a lot back in the 90s, or the 80s. And they publish a lot of books. They were the first publishers of Love and Rockets and of Daniel Close, the guy who did Ghost World and other pretty cool comics. And they also publish these fancy hardcover reprints of Peanuts and Carl Barks' Uncle Scrooge's and that sort of thing. And now, most of you probably know this, now they're doing a Kickstarter to raise $150,000 to support half of their catalog for this year. And I find that really weird, and I think, I didn't look closely at all the gifts, but at lower levels you're getting a signed postcard or, another little doodad like that. Wouldn't it make more sense just to let us pre-order some books if they want more money, the way a lot of the regular Kickstarter book fundraisers do? It seems odd to turn of someone who publishes Donald Duck and Peanuts into a charity. A big publisher normally would, if they're running low on money, would get a bank loan or get more investors. They are presumably out to make profits. They're not starting from scratch. They're a well-known publisher. So, they maybe got screwed over because one of their co-publishers died. And it also feels like, oh, you should give them money because someone died. But they're a big business, or a medium-sized business. In the publishing world, a medium-sized business, which may be a small business compared to a lot of other things. But it just seems really weird to give them money so that they can go out and continue their business. I feel guilty saying that because they're the cool, hip kind of publisher, but it would be one thing to give it to a really small publisher who's devoted to only bringing obscure artistic works to light. But Fantagraphics is kind of in the middle there, and they do a lot of very commercial stuff, along with some somewhat edgy material. It's not so dangerous to reprint the complete works of R. Crumb. It would be really dangerous to try to publish mostly new people. But they're pretty much focused on established people for the most part, as far as I can tell. So and it looks like they're going to get a lot of support, but I worry that this will become a new thing where these kind of mid-level publishers turn to Kickstarter for free money. Why shouldn't they? But I think we should keep an eye out to supporting small talent who want to get something started for a single book or a series of books or something like that, a project that literally couldn't happen without them, without that support. Kickstarter is great for helping people who don't want to be all about Marvel and DC, or don't have a contract with Fantagraphics Books. So anyway, I don't know if anyone else thought that whole Fantagraphics Books thing was a little strange. So, talk to you all later. I'll be picking up my comic books this afternoon, and hopefully review them sometime, or give you my thoughts on them sometime over the weekend. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.